And we're back. Our guest on this segment is Chef Justin Thompson. Justin, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much, Sam. I appreciate you inviting me on.
I wish we had smell-o-vision so I could get some of the aroma of the things you make. I've always been impressed by your work.
Okay.
Just so the folks at home understand a little bit more, you've been recognized by the Tulsa Voice, Tulsa People, and the Oklahoma Magazine as one of Tulsa's best chefs. That's got to be pretty heady.
It was certainly an honor being mentioned as one of Tulsa's best. There are a lot of great chefs in Tulsa now, and have been over the years, and it has been an honor being part of that group for sure.
Well, let's go back in time, if you don't mind, just a little bit. When
Sure.
did it start for you? How did you discover this knack for cooking?
Well, it's funny, you may have mentioned my cookbook or not already, but I actually tell the story of my cookbook where when I was 14 years old, I decided I wanted to cook dinner one day for me and my dad over at his house, and we didn't know what we were doing at all, and it's funny, the name of my cookbook is called Trial and Error because that's kind of the story of my cooking career. I try things out, I see if I like them, I make adjustments, and a lot of times throughout my career, I've been kind of put in a position where I wasn't sure how to do something or I didn't know how to do something, and sure enough, I had to figure it out, teach myself or learn from the best, and that's how it all started for me. At 14, was just cooking dinner for me and my dad, and honestly, I couldn't tell you if that first meal was even edible, but we made it together, we did it together, and it really became kind of the basis of our relationship, and it really allowed me to kind of rebuild a father-son relationship with my dad. And now, he and I, we talk almost every day, and we're great father-son duo. He actually has helped me build out some of my restaurants. We actually physically labored to build out Juniper together, putting up walls and sheetrock on the walls and woodwork and all that good stuff. And I certainly would not be where I am today without my dad, and I certainly wouldn't be there if not for that one meal that I cooked 26 years ago.
Well, you are the proprietor chef of several organizations. For example, the Justin Thompson Restaurant Group, co-owner of Farrell's Family Bakery, and the author of the book. What do you do for spare time?
Well, these days my spare time is spent with my daughter. I have a 6-year-old daughter, and so we do a lot of cooking at home, and I have her half the time with me. So she keeps me pretty busy. Actually, right after this, I'm going to pick her up for a dentist appointment. So that's pretty much what I do in my free time. Of course, the past couple of months, I've had plenty of free time to think about what's going on and what I'm going to do with business. And it's afforded me the opportunity to cook a lot for me and my daughter at home, and to plant a garden in my house, and figure out some other things I love doing.
Sure, this is a hard time for anybody in the food industry. There's no doubt. You're no exception to that. But one more thing I want to get into before we start to talk about that is you are a supporter of farm-to-table concepts. How did that come about?
I think when I decided to open Juniper, I saw an opportunity to support some of the local farmers around. And there have been times where we've been able to buy a lot of our products from local farmers, times where it's been tougher. I do think that the closer your food source is to you, the better off you are. It means less people touching your food, less contact points, less time between a carrot pulled out of the ground and in Northeast Oklahoma is going to taste better and be fresher than one pull out of the ground in California, because it's closer, less time on a truck, less time to get to you. So it just makes sense. It makes sense to seek out as many different vendors as possible. I'm glad you brought that up because right now the Tulsa Farmers Market is having a hard time, getting going this year because of all of this. They can't get their special events permit to do the farmers market every weekend. I think that'll be changing in the next couple of weeks, but that means that all of those farmers have not had as many outlets to sell their products, which means lower revenue for them and some product waste as well. So if anybody listening has the opportunity to buy from a local farmer or see a farm stand or something like that, definitely take a moment, stop, pull off the side of the road, whatever you got to do to support your local farmers, because it's a hard time for them as well as everyone in the restaurant business and many other industries right now. So,
and if you stop to support that farmer, you're not going to be disappointed in what you buy.
No, I mean, not at all. These are people that care very much about what they do, and they do it for the love of it. And it shows. You look at Joe Tierney out in Bixby, Joe's farm. I mean, he's doing a heck of a job right now. You can go out and pick your own strawberries right now. Very cool. It's a great thing to do with your kids. So I would encourage people to reach out to the Tulsa Farmers Market. There's a fund right now that they're trying to raise money for local farmers to help buy some of their products and either turn them into food that they can donate to the food banks, local food banks, or even just go out and support them, whatever you can do.
When the pandemic hit, you were going great guns. Things were rocking along, and all of a sudden, bam.
Yeah.
And there were literally thousands of people who looked to what you produced, as not an escape, but, a really nice trip down the road of great cuisine. What happens now? Where are you now? How much damage is this doing to you?
It's not been easy at all. We're coming up on about 2 months of being closed now. We took the road of shutting down completely. March 17th, when Mayor Bynum said, no more dine-in restaurants, we took that and we said, okay, we're going to shut down. And it was my feeling at the time that, I was not going to be able to support all of the employees, all the staff, if I tried to do takeout or curbside service or, reduced capacity. And so I felt it was better to encourage my staff to get on unemployment, to file right away, because I wasn't sure how long this was going to last. It might have been 2 weeks. It might have been a month or longer. I just didn't know. And fortunately, all of my staff has been able to, with the exception of a couple, been able to get unemployment. And the ones that weren't able to, I've been able to employ them over at the bakery. Because the bakery, has remained open throughout this entire time. We, in fact, our orders from grocery stores went up about 50%, just because there's just more demand for people eating at home, and that means more demand for bread. And so, we've seen an uptick in wholesale sales. So, we took the road of let's sit back and wait and see what's going to happen and see what we're up against, really. It's, back in March, whenever everything was starting to happen, middle of March, I said to one of my managers, I said, look, if we're making plans for anything, further out than one day in the future, we're wasting our time because we just don't know what's going to happen. And I feel like, even got to the point where it was hour by hour watching the news and seeing what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. We didn't want to make any decisions other than shutting down until we knew, how long is this going to last? What's it going to take? And how do we get back to business in the future? Now that we've taken that road, we've seen that other restaurants have done a very good job of doing takeout and curbside service. And I applaud them for all their work and all their efforts. I think, whether you stayed open or you closed, you had to make a hard decision either way.
Sure.
And every single business owner in Tulsa, whether it's in the restaurant industry or not, has had to make significant decisions, very difficult decisions, about what's best for their employees, what's best for their customers, what's best for themselves. And, it's been, I guarantee this has been the hardest decision that a lot of business owners have had to face over their entire careers, what to do during this time and how to get back to, being successful. Because a lot of us right now are we're holding on to what little we have left and hoping for the best and making plans for the future, not knowing, what the future holds.
Well, have you dipped your toe into the carryout section of the business, or do you plan to?
Yes, we plan to. Actually, we're going to announce tomorrow on Thursday that we're going to start doing curbside takeout and delivery at Juniper next week, beginning on Tuesday. So we'll do that 5 days a week. We'll do that for a couple of weeks, and then we'll see about dine-in service. If we want to do this in a slow, methodical way. We want to make sure that we're kind of rebuilding our customers' faith and trust in us. We built our reputation over 9 years at Juniper, 8 years at Prime, and several other years of the other businesses, and we want to make sure that we honor that commitment to our guests, to say, hey, look, we've watched what other people have been doing, we've seen what works and what doesn't work, and we have a plan now to implement curbside takeout delivery in a way that we feel is as safe as possible for both my employees and also for the customer and the guests. So yes, that is coming very soon. And then about a week or two after that, we'll do the same thing over at Prime, and we'll start catering services back up. And, I don't foresee that we'll be at full capacity dine-in, until at the minimum 3 months from now. Mm-hmm. And that's just based upon what the virus does, what, consumer confidence does.
One man's opinion. I can't guarantee it, but I can almost promise you that when word gets out that you do plan to do carry out, you're going to have more business than you can handle, because folks do your work, and it's great work.
Well, I sincerely hope that, we are going to roll out some family meal options, some a la carte options. And, as well, we're going to be, doing a little bit more than just carry out. We're going to be doing some freebies and giveaways and stuff like that, too.
That's great. Justin, we're out of time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you so much. And get out there and break a leg, man.
Well,
we'll
thank you. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate you.
We'll see you next time.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Folks, we're all out of time on this end of Perspectives. Thank you for joining us. For now, good night and good luck.